大家好，我是 Joe Creator. One of you guys have recommended me to check out this music from this game, 重返未来1999手游. If you don't know, it's a turn-based RPG set in the 20th century. On the last day of the year in 1999, a strange phenomenon known as the Storm appeared and caused anything that it touched to disappear or be reversed. As a result of this, instead of time going forwards, everything started going backwards. Well, what I'm here to find out is, can this game compete with Hoyo Music, creating great video game soundtracks? The first track we're going to listen to is a new one, so without further ado, let's listen.
Where do we go? Where do we go?
We have this like repetition of the lyrics.
Every part is burning.
This is such a slow and moody chord progression, and the singing style reflects that as well.
Where do we go? All this echo, I gently flow. Fearless, no breath.
This almost has like Arctic Monkeys 4am vibes, which are a famous British band. And now notice this timing change on the guitar to a
mystery for the show. Into the unknown. It's called before the world.
and the melody changes to that as well, a bit higher up.
In the dark, free me from this part. The mystery for it's a mystery for the show.
Always ending on this sort of low note though. Okay, little instrumental now. I love that this guitar sounds so old and wavy.
The soul is gone.
Yeah, the tone's nice, and you have this synth in the background as well, just giving it atmosphere.
Where do we go? Where do we go? Embrace the light before the dawn. When you say it's cold, it's cold, it's cold.
Subtle backing vocals in there as well.
Worlds collide. The way to love, the way to God. It's a mystery for the show. Into the unknown.
It's just constantly slow, prodding. Sometimes his voice is emotional like now, but sometimes it's just dead and sad. I think that this video also shows that. So much rain, dullness, stormy sea. It really gives you like an atmosphere to the world that they're showing you. Ooh, and I think, notice there right at the end though, that little bit of imagery of a light coming on. So one of the main draws for me is how we sort of have this time feeling change where we go from a dotted rhythm do 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 to this slow 6/8 or 3/4 rhythm do 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 in the guitar. It keeps the sound interesting without changing the feeling of the song too much. I think the vocals are purposely very washy here, very washed out. It adds to that same sort of effect that they have on the guitar, like it's in like a broken amp and just sounds quite dirty and old, which I like. But sometimes the vocals there I think a bit too washy and they get a little bit washed out in the mix. However, it adds to this overall mood of the song, of this sort of dead and dying grey world, which is really shown through all the imagery on the video. Yeah, you have this image here. It reminds me of Starry Night from Van Gogh, which is really cool. Normally when you draw food, you want it to be bright and colourful and look really tasty. but here it's like old and abandoned. And then you have the stormy sea, but you have that one light which comes on under the umbrella at the end like a glimmer of hope. So I think that works out really well. During my research, I also found this song, which we're going to listen to a little bit as well, because I noticed something interesting, which I want to talk about. It's quite clever, so let's listen to a bit of this too. So check out how haunting the atmosphere is, with this sort of kalimba music box kind of feel to it. And then the setting on the video, again, so dark. This reversed synthesizer sound. And then the lyrics here are also very famous. If you don't know, it's a famous nursery rhyme, and it's said to have started during the Black Death, the European plague, which wiped out around a half of Europe's population. A tissue being sneezing from illness and we all fall down. Well, you can tell what that's supposed to mean. The ring of roses are supposed to be the marks on your body, and the pocket full of posies, you're supposed to put the flowers in your pockets for good health. Hopefully you don't catch the Black Death. Usually these days this song is sang by children as they hold hands and dance in a circle. It's much more upbeat and a lot more fun as you all fall down at the end and it's laughing and having a good time. So this subverts that really well. The name of the song is also quite clever because Campbell, even though he didn't write this song, Thomas Campbell is a famous Scottish poet from the early 19th century. So it adds to that touch of history, which is a theme throughout the game itself. Okay guys, I found one more to listen to, and the reason for that, it's a bit more Zhonghuo Feng, bit more Chinese styled. So I want to listen to that together. Let's go for it. Okay, 开始了 Zhonghuo Feng. You can already hear it. What I don't expect is it to go straight into these electric distorted guitars. And surprisingly, I feel like these vocals work really well with them. Sounds like a little bit of harmonic minor scale there. And listen to those jumpy drums. Makes it so groovy. Listen to that ride cymbal as well. Just a little. There it is. A little bit of tension building back up now. To get straight back into this chorus, I like that. It has a very marching straight feel to the drums here, which makes sense for the video. These cute little noises now with the vocals. I did not expect that. It's so cute though. This one has the most individual sound in my opinion because it has the distorted guitars but these sort of very straight pumped up drums, and then on top of that you have these traditional sounding Chinese instruments and the vocal style as well. My only nitpick here is the guitar could be meatier, could be louder in the mix. It sounds a little bit weak at the moment for a sort of distorted guitar sound, and the drum samples are a bit too perfect. They don't have any variation to them really as they're played. This does let the vocals and other instruments and touches stand out a little bit more in the mix, but I just prefer having meatier guitars in there. The cute little voice near the end really really surprised me quite a lot. It just adds again to the individuality of the track. And then you have the different instruments, and they have their own little instrumental sections to stand out as well, which is a good inclusion. And we have more instruments being introduced, and they get their own instrumental section, which I think is really important, so that we know that they're there and they can take center stage for just a little bit. I think that when you can use different genres and styles of music within your game, that really helps because it shows more depth to the setting and the characters and the world building itself. Finally, have you played this game? What do you think of the music? Please share your thoughts and comments down below, and thank you for watching the video. See you all next time. 再见, bye bye.